What's going on, everyone? So, you're hearing more and more potential trade targets become available, right? Hearing Jared Allen, Triple J could end up being an option, right? And we're not even moving into the offseason, right? You also have guys, Dayron Sharp, potentially on a sign-in trade. You have Naz Reid, Nickeil Alexander-Walker. You're having all these guys that some are going to be sign-in trades, some are going to be straight trades, some are going to be free agent signings, right? Like there are a lot of potential suitors on the market that the Lakers can maybe grab a piece or two. But one of the things that is very important is the more guys you hear, and I talk about it all the time on As It Stands Lakers and then this Lakers channel and whatnot, where it's like, hey, what about this guy or this guy or this guy? People are always like, man, you got every player in the league going to Lakers stuff. It's like, well, yeah, aren't the Lakers supposed to do that? Aren't the Lakers doing the same thing right now? Right? Aren't the Lakers supposed to be exploring every potential possibility and lifting up every rock and doing all that stuff? But the biggest point of all that is if all of those guys I'm talking about, those are all options for the Lakers, like real options. Right? Those are all guys that are linked to the Lakers or can be potentially linked to Lakers or whatnot, right? It's not like just random guys where it's like, oh, this guy's got like a 5-year deal and Lakers can't trade. Like, no, it's like things that make sense. Free agents, guys that you can sign and trade, guys that are available and known to be available. And the reason that that's important and the abundance of it is because the more that there is, the more likely it is that the Lakers are going to get something done. Talked about this past offseason. And I was talking about, this past trade deadline. There are more and more pieces coming out, right? You're hearing about this guy and 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 this guy. And that's good because the more potential that there is, the more likely it is that the Lakers are going to get things done. Boom. Fast forward, they get Dorian Finney-Smith. Fast forward, they get Luka Doncic, right? Like, kid, Luka. And then they also traded for Mark Williams, and then obviously that fell through, which is unfortunate. But still, they ended up going and getting Mark Williams, right? So they made multiple trades and moves to really kind of expedite and upgrade this roster that, if you end up landing Mark Williams, what does this team look like? Is this team still playing right now, right? Like, there's a lot of questions in that regard. But point is that you see some off seasons where it's like, it's slim pickings, or there's just not, like a couple seasons ago, like the year that they got like Patrick Beverly and Kendrick Nunn and all the, people were like, oh, why did they get all these 6-foot guards? It's like, who else was there? There wasn't any other free agent. There wasn't guys that made sense. There was again, you see some free agents where there's nothing, or some, trade seasons where it's just like, there's not really guys that are available, or the guys that are available are just unrealistic and the Lakers are probably not going to be able to acquire, right? But you look at this offseason and just the rumors that are already starting to develop and the players that are going to come around and whatnot. And it's just like, there is a lot of potential. There are multiple different angles. And that's not counting the outlier trade. That's not counting the one that we're not hearing about that ends up getting done, right? The Luka trade, right? The D'Lo trade, the Rui trade, like those kind of things, right? Like, so it's good to have this abundance of potential suitors and players and whatnot, right? And then especially for positions of need that the Lakers have, particularly at the center spot, right? Because the Lakers desperately need a center. But there's only so many teams that need a center. So the more center options there are, the better it is for the Lakers, because the more likely it is that they're going to be able to solve their center position and do so without having to gut their roster or sell the farm, right? You have a, Jared Allen, a Nick Claxton, a Walker Kessler, Dayron Sharp, you start going down the list of all these, Mark Williams again, right? Like, they could sign Clint Capella, Jericho Sims, Brooke Lopez, right? Like, and it's like, yes, some of those names aren't the sexiest names. Some of those names are, you're kind of like, right? But one, I don't think the Lakers need this superstar center that, you're dumping the ball down to and he's giving you 30. I don't think you need Joel Embiid. I think you just need a good serviceable center that can rebound, block shots, and, be that lob threat for Luka, right? That's it. That's all you need. You need a guy that can defend. You need a guy that can run the floor. You need a guy that can rebound the basketball. I think the Lakers are good in that regard, right? So even though there aren't this abundance of sexy names, right, there is enough abundance to where the Lakers very likely are going to get a guy or two. And the Lakers, bare minimum, in my opinion, need to. And reports have even came out that the Lakers understand that they need likely 2 centers. They're also supposed to lose Jackson Hayes. Supposedly Jackson Hayes was, not okay with his role, which is fine. I'm okay with that, right? Jackson Hayes, I was preaching that he's not a starting center, even when I got pushback about that. And fast forward, and yeah. So point is that, you're going to have to solve that. Jackson Hayes, you got Christian Koloko, you're fine. You essentially give you the same thing. Christian Koloko actually better floor spacer, better discipline, better shot blocker, better rebounder, right? Or kind of same rebounder. But point is I think the Lakers are in good shape in that regard. And then even other pieces, other players, other trades, right? Like, or free agency signings, like, Nickeil Alexander-Walker or Bruce Brown, like these guys that, only so many teams have cap space. Only so many teams have the financial flexibility. Only so many teams are willing to sign these guys and trade for these guys or do all this. It's right. Like with the new CBA and you have those new restrictions, all of these things kind of benefit the Lakers. Lakers have a bunch of expiring contracts, which are very valuable in the new CBA. Lakers are going to have, at least the taxpayer mid-level, potentially the full mid-level, which would be great if you could at least free that up, because then you can, maybe get 2 guys, multiple guys. Maybe you can get, a Clint Capella and a Nickeil Alexander-Walker or something like that. Now you just got added 2 guys. Like Lakers need the depth and the versatility, right? You have something that no other team has. You have Luka Doncic and LeBron James. You have 2 top 10 players. You have 2 of the best offensive engines, 2 of the best playmakers in all of basketball, in the history of basketball, really. Right? I'm not saying that there aren't other ones, but they're 2 of the greatest in the history of the game. Right? So to me, it's like you have a luxury that a lot of these other teams just don't have because you have those 2. You need to fill in those dirty work guys. And those guys are usually not the sexy names. Those guys usually are the Nickeil Alexanders, the Clint Capellas, the guys that are coming in, playing a role, that know the role, understand the role, and can play it perfectly. That's what the Lakers need. The Lakers need those kind of guys. Lakers need to, and they need as many as they can get. The more opportunity, the more abundance that there is of that, the more likely it is that the Lakers are going to be able to get multiple guys. DeAnthony Melton, right? He's going to need a prove-it deal. Can you get him on a vet minimum contract, right? Like now all of a sudden there's another vet versatile 2-way 3-and-D guard that can slot in beautifully alongside Luka, especially if he can get back to what he's doing, but he needs a prove-it deal. Now, there is also something to keep in mind, like kind of in closing, is that with the new CBA, teams are able to retain their players, right? So they're able to keep their own players before free agency. Saw it last year. There was a lot of guys that were expected to be free agents that ended up signing new deals with the team. So we'll see how many actually hit the market and become available. But there's also a lot of trade potential. There's a lot. And even Shams Charania even said, like, hey, I'm gearing up for what might be one of, if not the wildest off seasons we've ever had. Right? So that is good. That benefits the Lakers. Something to keep in mind. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass a question to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. Helps me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.